Well, welcome to Churchill Room. This is my personal collection in this room. So anything in any of the cases you want to look at closely, don't be reluctant to come and ask. When we get visitors coming in, I like to welcome them and just introduce myself, and then they know who they're speaking with. And welcome them to the Churchill Room and ask them if there's anything in any of the cases they would like to look at closely, do come and ask. I'll be very happy to speak with them.
Yeah, so then, if you can just tell us that your name is Jack Darragh.
Oh, right, okay.
And that this is the Churchill collection at Bletchley Park.
Right. Well, my name is Jack Darragh.
Oh, I couldn't see that, Jack, so don't worry about your name badge, just
Okay.
tell us.
My name is Jack Darragh. I'm an Ulsterman, and this is my personal collection, which I started in 1947. Just as a hobby, it's still a hobby. Keeps me out of mischief. And I come to Bletchley Park 3 days a week. The collection's open 6 days a week. I have 3 other chaps who do Monday, Tuesday and Friday. We have a break on Thursday. That's my Rotary day. And we're kept fairly busy. Thank you for coming, gentlemen.
So, if I walk in here, explain to me what I see then.
Okay, we start at the beginning. Well, we've had over 20,000 school children through, young students from all over the United Kingdom, from Germany, Canada, the States, from the Republic of Ireland. They've all been here. And I put these on so that the kids could link up with what's in each case. So in this one we have his likes and leisures, painting. He was a very keen horseman. And we developed that theme. Okay?
Okay, yep, we're following you.
This is the original painting that was commissioned by the Reader's Digest, showing Churchill in the Cabinet War Rooms in London. And this is how they used it in their journal. And the artist came in and donated the original painting. I'll show you a few donations on the way around. Schools and Sandhurst.
Oh yeah, you just go ahead.
Oh, sorry, he's taking it through there, is he?
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay. Well, he went to Sandhurst School, went to Harrow School. He was commissioned in the Royal Military Academy, and his first regiment was the 4th Hussars. And I have a digital copy of his commissioning warrant. There he is, when he was commissioned to the 4th Hussars. Signed by Queen Victoria. My warrant is signed by Queen Elizabeth. And sadly it says, in the 2nd year of my reign. I would love to have had it in the 1st year of my reign, particularly this year. But that's a digital copy of Churchill's commissioning warrant. This year we're celebrating the Queen's Golden Jubilee. Well, at her coronation, the Queen gave Clemmy and Winston the use of a little coach. There they are. And so I wanted to work on that. And I commissioned this piece, which I showed to the kids coming in. There's a little coach. His escort was drawn from the 4th Hussars, 1 officer, 3 troopers, and inside we have Winston and Clemmy.
Take the lid off that again, Jack. Put the lid back on, please, can you? And just take it off again.
There we are, Winston saluting to the crowd. And Clementine even has her tiara on. Pop this back on again.
Yeah. Need to put the wee lid on.
Oh,
On the
just,
coach.
it'll be getting cold if I don't put the roof on. I go down to Harrow School from time to time, and they've let me have a few pieces. That's one of his school reports.
Now, Jack, in terms of Winston Churchill collections, where does this rate? How does this
I've
start?
no idea. This was just a hobby I started in 1947.
So, sorry. So just tell me that again. That you started this as a hobby. Tell
I
me that
started as a hobby in 1947, and Rita, my late wife,
Oh, sorry.
we chased them all over Europe, Canada, the States.
Sorry, Jack.
and
Just
Sorry, Jack,
sorry.
I
We
wasn't
weren't
ready
we
for
weren't
it.
ready for
Okay.
science. So tell me that again about when it started.
It started in 1947. I bought my first book then, Savrola. That's the only novel he ever wrote. All his other books were either military, political, or family. But he only wrote one book, Savrola, and I have it here. I have the first edition. I'll show it to you. That's the first thing I got. That was 1947. Then Rita and I traced him all over Europe, Canada, the States. Brought pieces back from Vancouver, Venice, Paris, Berlin, and I did the Alaska cruise about 5 years ago, and I found a piece of Churchill and Juneau in Alaska, which is in the collection as well. He was an incredible character. He was a very keen artist. He lived through 3 wars, the Boer War. He commanded the 6th Royal Scots Fusiliers in World War I. And of course, you know what he did in World War II. So, I mean, he was an incredible man.
Okay, that's
Okay,
What's next?
right. You're probably bored to tears listening to this.
Well,
Well, here we are. There's Savrola, the only novel he ever wrote, and that's the book I bought in 1947. Have a look at it. That's the first edition. It was published in 1900. He wrote it when he was about 23, but it wasn't published until 1900. He was born in 1874, so it was published about 3 years after he had written it.
So that's where the collection started, with that one.
With that one book, yeah. And most of the Churchill family have been up to see me, and most of them have signed some of their books. So here we have one signed by Celia Sandys, his granddaughter. And it was our present young queen who asked him to become a Knight of the Garter. And he accepted from her. But when he lost the election the first time, the king wanted him to accept the Knight of the Garter. And he said, well, sir, how can I accept the Order of the Garter from you? And the public have just given me the Order of the Boot. Well, how many Ulstermen were field marshals? Come on. Montgomery, Alexander, and Allenbrook were all Ulstermen. So I've tried to relate to my Ulstermen and let people know just where they came from.
Right. Jack, can you tell me the importance for you of every object in here? I'm sure everyone has a story, or what do you think when you look around and see everything?
Well, I've got quite a lot of donations, and it's amazing the number of people who want to donate things to the collection. I'll show you a couple. May I show you? We're back again to this one. Have a look at this set. These were donated to me. All his essays. Churchill coat of arms.
Where did this come from? Where did this come from, John?
Well, lots of people don't want their name associated. I'll just say a family donated them. And they came in and said, we have a set of books that belong to our parents, and we would like you to have them. So those are all his essays, beautifully bound. I'll show you this level first of something here which relates to up here. Okay? Now this is one of my favourite pieces. It's the Haven Gore, the lunch which carried his coffin up the Thames in 1965. The bearer party were drawn from the 2nd Battalion, the Grenadier Guards. He did his trench training with them in 1916 before he took command of the Royal Scots Fusiliers. The young ensign in command of the bearer party, there they are there, is a long-standing friend of mine, Colonel Anthony Mather. Anthony finished up a half-colonel at Kensington Palace. And some months ago, Anthony rang me and said, "I've something for you, Jack," but he wouldn't tell me on the phone what it was. But this is what he brought me. One of the drag ropes that the Navy used to tow the gun carriage on which Churchill's coffin lay. That's the sort of donation.
And how did you feel when you received that?
Oh, I was overjoyed. I tried to get something of the gun carriage many times, but never successful. Now, the flag that flew at the masthead of the Haven Gore was the Cinque Ports flag. He was warden of the Cinque Ports. And a lady, again, donated this quilt, the Churchill quilt. And a lady called Mary Main, and I commissioned Mary to do me a miniature of Churchill's Garter banner and Lady Soames' Garter banner when she was made a Lady of the Garter. Well, let's have a look up here. Now, when Lady Soames was made a Lady of the Garter, I was invited over to Windsor during the time for installation, and she sent me this letter and a photograph. Would you like to have a look at that?
Yeah, we will. Now, have you ever had offers for objects or items, or talk to me about that?
I had an American come in once when we were in the mansion, and he wanted to buy the whole collection. But he applied a caveat. He wanted me to go out to the States and set it up the same way as it was here, and I said, no, thank you. That was it.
And would you sell the collection?
Well, it'll go to my daughter. I've already made arrangements if anything happens to me that she will get it. And feeling that it will hopefully go to my granddaughter, but she's in Australia, so, but what they do with it's a matter for them. I won't be here. I haven't applied any caveats at all.
Well, what would you ultimately like to see, Jack, after 65 years of collecting all of this?
I would like to see it stay in Bletchley Park, because Churchill had strong ties with Bletchley. And he came up here from time to time. He came in 1941, and it was he who made the phrase, the geese that never cackled. So the connection's always here.
Now, if Winston Churchill was to walk into this room now, what do you think he would say?
He would probably walk out again. idea. But I know the family, particularly Lady Soames. She said to me once, I'm not sure whether I should quote this or not, she said, "You've touched on every aspect of my father's life." And I thought that was the peak comment that I'm ever likely to get from her.
And what's the one item that you don't have that you would love to have? What would you like to have?
Oh, one of his signed paintings cost you $500,000. So if you've got any spare dough from Ulster, I'll be very, very happy. You can set up a fund for me back. Well, you know, he came to Belfast.
Oh, I do.
Well,
100 years ago.
Where was that? Where did he stay?
He stayed in the Grand Central Hotel.
Well, they nearly wrecked his car there, didn't
That's
they?
right.
Yeah.
And now tell me this: how important a figure is Winston Churchill in British history? Do you think? Tell me about that.
Oh, he's known all over the world. I mean, we've got people in here from Poland, France. If you have a look at my visitors book, you'd be surprised how many people who really know about Churchill. And sometimes I'm very impressed with their knowledge when they come in. I'm not photogenic, I'm sorry about this.
What?
Oh, God. Marks and Spencer's best. Don't quote that.
Right. What are you going to show us here?
I was going to show you this. I bought this piece in Alaska. I did the Inner Passage cruise a few years ago. My brother-in-law in Winnipeg is a doctor, and he and my sister said, "What are you doing in September?" I said, "Nothing really." They said, "Well, we booked you in for a cruise with us." And we went ashore, a few places up the coast. And we went ashore at Juneau, and I saw an antique shop, went in and spotted this, the Primrose League. And I said to the guy, "How much is it?" They said, $20. So I slapped a $20 bill into his hand. I said, "Do you know what it is?" He said, "I've no idea." I said, "That's the Primrose League medal. I have all the other medals, didn't have one with a ribbon on it." And I got that for $20.
See, I think your family took you to Alaska,
Yeah.
thinking that was the only place in the world where there wouldn't be any Churchill.
Exactly. Couldn't believe it.
And it didn't happen.